Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is Barnes& Noble Education, ticker symbol BNED, which was requested by a few people in the chat. And also, I've seen a lot of people chatting about it. So happy to go over the chart. And I do think that, Barnes& Noble is not the only one that is squeezing or looking like it's going to squeeze higher. I think there are a lot of stocks doing that right now. So good to not FOMO in or chase. I think that really, whether it's AMC, Barnes& Noble, GameStop, the list goes on. I think Plug is doing the same kind of thing. You can take advantage of the violent up moves in one stock or the other. You don't have to spread yourself so thin. Because like for me, I am not in Barnes & Noble education at all. I am maybe a little bit intrigued to establish a position and see what happens. But also I think that, it's kind of a gamble. And, also, though, I do think that it is important to notice, in the video that I did with 3 penny stocks, I did talk about how, there's this rally up and then a retrace, rally up and retrace. Seeing that in a lot of stocks. I believe that's an Elliott wave, which I can go over in this stream if you guys are curious. That's something that I don't really know too much about, but it does seem to be what's happening with Barnes & Noble as well as other stocks. So that's basically like you get a move to the upside, a retracement, then a bigger move to the upside and a retracement, but forming a higher low. And so that does suggest that this will continue again. And the 786 is right around 50 cents, currently trading around 58 cents. Like it was mentioned by William in the chat, there was a pretty big pullback with Barnes & Noble, so good to not be buying tops. And so from the top here to $1.35, the total pullback was about 57%. And just the pullback from Friday, it's over 26%. So pretty risky in that sense, but given that it's pulled back 57%, I could actually see it pulling back 70%. I do feel like that's a pretty common retracement, or whether it's a retracement or just a pullback. And so that will be coming down to, like the 786 right around 50 cents. That's a drop of 63%. So I would think that like 50 or 49 cents, maybe that's a good level to re-enter or to establish a position. Coming down to this downtrend, that's right around 70%. So I feel like it's good to be waiting for pullbacks with stuff like this, but maybe that pullback has happened. So if that's the case, maybe now is a good time to establish a small position with the expectation of maybe it continues lower and then to add if it does. But if it takes off, then, there's a small position there. So I feel like, just like I went over in the 3 penny stocks in that one video, good to wait for pullbacks and maybe average in once we've seen such a pullback. Also, coming back to this previous high at 60 cents, maybe that's a good level for there to be some support found before it rallies to the next high, which I imagine will be above $1.35. And so we could think about it just like that from current price going up to $1.35. I believe that's a more than 100% swing. So yeah, definitely there's a lot of potential here, but it could also come back lower. So good to be prepared for that if it does happen. But yeah, I'm intrigued by this and really just like a lot of the stocks that have been moving to the upside violently, whether they're penny stocks or meme stocks or not meme stocks, just stocks that are rallying. I feel like that's what's been happening with Plug. I think that's going to happen again. Going to see another rally there. I just think it's a really good time to be in these plays, but to also, have a plan for whether it's establishing positions on the pullbacks or trimming on the rallies higher. And I guess with that being said, let's kind of work with the assumption that this is going to pull back to the 786. So just approximately here, coming from this high, coming down to right around just under 50 cents. We can look where the 1618 extension goes to. And so that's at $1.88. Maybe price goes to $2. Maybe gets rejected there and then pulls back to $1.35. So like from 188, pulling back to that previous high. That's really just like a 30% drop. So maybe it could go higher. But yeah, and if this is to be compared with GameStop just secured almost $1 billion, and so I think GameStop's looking pretty good. And also, I could check my phone for overnight trading on Robinhood just so we get an idea of what that's doing. But I saw earlier that the price was, let's see, it's up 31% in overnight trading. At a price of right around $25 a share. So that's GameStop. So here we can, let's see, zoom in here. This initial high was on the 17th. I'm going to look at GameStop. This initial high was the 14th. Okay, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, I think if GameStop's going to be rallying next week, or at least beginning the week with a gap up, I think it's also good to be cautious about that, because here, this was, I believe, a Monday. No, this was, let's see. This was Tuesday, big move up. Tuesday, though, was the sell-off, blow-off top, I guess. So good to be ready for, the possibility that, whether it's GameStop, AMC, Barnes & Noble, Education, Plug Power, any of these, I think that they could be rallying, starting the week strong. Maybe the week doesn't end so strong. So like with GameStop here, big moves starting Monday the 13th, up, let's see, relative to the previous day's close, or the previous trading day, so that Friday's close, starting the week up 50%, closing Monday 73% up, and then opening on Tuesday, let's see, up 269%, but then pulled back to basically, a full retracement. So I think it's good to be cautious with these and to have a plan for them, whether that's, and like, I feel like with some of them, there's the overnight trading with GameStop, 24.96 right now, still up over 30% in overnight trading. I think that these are going to be starting strong on Monday. So if one does not have a position in these, or doesn't have as big of a position as one wants, might be good to wait to see how the dust settles. It's a short week. I think that we could see a lot of volatility to the upside, whether it's GameStop, whether it's AMC, whether it's Barnes & Noble Education. I don't think these things are isolated from each other. I don't think Barnes & Noble Education is the next or the new GameStop. I think they're unique things. And I just think that whether it's because of shorts just being over leveraged, pushing stuff down too far, it's the reckoning, for all these stocks. They're going to be going up. So, I would just have a plan for that. And it's quite possible with like Barnes & Noble Education, that 188 could be the top. And actually, I could do an example with this pullback that we saw here. Where does that 168 extension take us to? So actually, that went as high as, let's see, it's possible it hit the 3618. Almost. No, not quite. That's at $1.47. So hitting $1.35, higher than the 2618. And let's see. So if it was to continue higher, 1618, the 2618 is at 273. So maybe this goes up to $3 if it previously went past the 2618. But it's also possible that this next leg up might be not as far. And actually, on that note, since this does look like, from my limited understanding of it, Elliott wave, and so I think it'd be interesting to actually go over, let's see, not this, Elliott wave theory, what it is and how to use it. Because I think for all of these stocks, we're going to see rallies going higher, and then we'll probably see pullbacks, but pullbacks to higher lows. Then that's the opportunity to add more, establish position, whatever it is. And we might be starting the week after the rallies already happened. So let's see. So what is the Elliott wave theory? So the Elliott wave theory is a technical analysis, describes price movements in the financial market, developed by Ralph Nelson Elliott It observes reoccurring fractal wave patterns identified in stock price movements and consumer behavior. Investors who profit from a market trend are described as riding a wave. And so the key takeaways are that the Elliott wave theory is a technical analysis of price patterns related to changes in investor sentiment and psychology. And the theory identifies impulse waves that establish a pattern and corrective waves that oppose the larger trend. Each set of waves is within another set of waves that adhere to the same impulse or corrective pattern, described as a fractal approach to investing. So I think that'd be kind of like a, Fibonacci retracements and levels like that. And so, Greg, I see your comment. I think I'm going to be adding some more to AMC, also swing trading VHAI. I'll look at VHAI in a second, and I will go over the AMC chart. And I too am thinking about adding to AMC and was actually thinking about buying some, or maybe just one in-the-money call options that expire June 21st, like at either $3 or $2 strike price, just to, I don't know, get more practice with options, and with it being in the money, well above, or the strike being well below current price, I feel like that could be a nice little exercise that I might try. But yeah, I'll go over the AMC chart in just a minute. I just want to go over these Elliott waves because I think it's just really interesting, useful stuff, and it does seem to be coming up in a lot of stocks. And so here we could see that with this pattern coming out of Ed's head there, it's like he's imagining it. Let's see, right there. It's like this big move up and then a smaller pullback, big move up, smaller pullback, and that just like keeps going up. And so this is a theory and technical analysis that attributes wave-like price patterns identified at various scales to trader psychology and investor sentiment. And so understanding the Elliott wave theory. And so the Elliott wave theory was developed by this guy, I've already talked about Ralph, in the 1930s. He studied 75 years worth of yearly, monthly, weekly, daily, and self-made hourly and 30-minute charts across various indices. His theory gained notoriety in 1935 when Elliott made an uncanny prediction of a stock market bottom and has become a staple for thousands of portfolio managers, traders, and private investors. And so Elliott defined rules to identify, predict, and capitalize on wave patterns in books, articles, and letters summarized in R.N. Elliott's Masterworks, published in 1994. So Elliott Wave International is the largest independent financial analysis and market forecasting firm whose market analysis and forecasting are based on Elliott's model. And so, hey, what's up? I see there's a lot of chatting going on. Evening, everybody. Yeah, I will pull up VHAI in just a second. And yeah, thanks for complimenting the channel. I appreciate it. Hey, Jose. Hey, Greg. Hey, WS. I feel like I've gotten everybody that's being chatty right now. Got in at 14 cents. Are you talking about for VHAI? Cool. Yeah, I'll have a look at that in just a second. Yeah, I just want to finish reading about these because I think that it's something that I don't know too much about, but it's something that is happening a lot in a lot of charts right now. And so his patterns do not provide any certainty about future price movement, but help to order the probabilities for future market action. Sounds like most technical indicators. And so they can be used with other forms of technical analysis, including technical indicators. And so how Elliott waves work. So some technical analysts profit from wave patterns in the stock market using Elliott wave theory. And the theory assumes that stock price movements can be predicted because they move in repeating up and down patterns called waves created by investor psychology or sentiment. Take the next step to invest. Okay, that's an ad. So the theory is subjective and identifies two different types of waves: motive or impulse waves and corrective waves. Wave analysis does not equate to a template to follow instructions. Wave analysis offers insights into trend dynamics and helps investors understand price movements. Impulse and corrective waves are nested in a self-similar fractal to create larger patterns. For example, a one-year chart may be in the midst of a corrective wave, but a 30-day chart may show a developing impulse wave. A trader with this Elliott wave interpretation may have a long-term bearish outlook with a short-term bullish outlook. And so impulse waves consist of 5 subwaves that make net movement in the same direction as the trend of the next largest degree. This pattern is the most common motive way and the easiest to spot in the market. It consists of 5 subwaves, 3 of which are motive waves, 2 are corrective waves. Okay, and so I think that this is, kind of what's going on right now. Wave 1, 2, so we're basically at either, let's see, 4, I'm just going to adjust the axis. So this is like we are, at this point, so there's going to be another leg up, and maybe that's the top of it. With AMC, I think with this one, we have just pulled back to 2. GameStop, I believe, as well. So, I mean, yeah, because any of this upward movement with GameStop, there's no like real retrace other than like what we see right here. And so, and same with AMC, big move up, pull back, and any of these moves up from the bottom, 238. This is the first pullback or the corrective wave. So, oh, okay, wait, no, yep, sorry, I got that wrong. So this is motive because it's going up. And so what we're seeing now with AMC and GameStop is we're at 2, which means we could get wave 3 going a lot higher, and then wave 4, pull back, and then have another, topping peak, form a head and shoulders pattern, and then go down. And so BNB, or I want to say BNB, but what I mean is BNED, it looks like it's at the pullback right here, 4. So I think that it's a little bit ahead of AMC and GameStop and could be topping sooner. So be careful with that. But yeah, I just find this really useful. And so wave 2 can't retrace more than the beginning of wave 1. And so, yeah, I mean, this is a higher low, so that's important. Wave 3 cannot be shorter wave of the 3 impulse waves. So 1, 2, 3. Cannot be the shortest wave, so that actually has to be longer. And so let's look at this. This, that was longer, so that does qualify. We are now at 4 with BNED. Wave 4 does not overlap with the price territory of wave 1. Okay, so there has to be like a gap in that price action. And so unfortunately, that negates this BNED as being in wave 4 because it overlaps with the price action over here. So that's a little risky. It's a little precarious. It's just showing weakness. Maybe it squeezes higher. It sounds like it will based on sentiment and all of that. Bella, what's up? And everybody else, PEGY and GWAV, we'll look at those as well. Just going over like Elliott waves, think it's really interesting because like with BNED, we see, wave 1 is like this move to the upside, then a pullback is wave 2, this is wave 3, and then this pullback is wave 4. But since it's come lower than this prior high that was hit on the 17th, that actually negates it as an Elliott wave pattern because wave 4 does overlap with the price territory of wave 1, and so that makes it not look so good. We have not seen that with AMC and GameStop. They look like they're in at point 2 or at the end of wave 2. And wave 5 needs to end with a momentum divergence. And so I'm not really sure what that means, but this pulled back to overlap with this 3, and so that kind of suggests that the downside was coming. So yeah, and I could read more if you guys want me to. Let me know. Otherwise, I will stop. And so I should note, though, before I do stop, if one rule is violated, the structure is not an impulse wave. The trader would need to relabel the suspected impulse wave. And so, yeah, I mean, maybe that, this has negated this part, and maybe it's at 2 instead. I don't know if that's valid for BNED. But yeah, I'll go over AMC real quick, and then I'm going to add VHAI. Hopefully that's it. Vocodia Holdings, or holding whatever. And then also see BSFC, Blue Star Foods, and PEGY, and GWAV. Cool. So yeah, I'll try to get through all those. I'm just going to make sure that the first one that was requested. Okay, so first I'll go over AMC, and then I'll go over VHAI. And cheers, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Yeah, hopefully, hopefully the thumbnail didn't offend anybody. I was kind of worried that it would. But yeah, what does it say? Earn this. Let's earn our green candles this week. And also, remember those who have sacrificed and served and all of that for us to be here, being degenerates online together. So cheers to all of them. Cheers to you guys. And yeah, so I will start now with AMC. And I actually, I posted a video on the channel on the community page from Colin Gladman, I believe is his name. I just subscribed to his channel. I do follow him on Twitter. He's been pretty bearish on AMC GameStop the past few years, but he's just flipped bullish. He always does really good analysis. He's a little direct, and so maybe that rubbed some people the wrong way. But I just feel like his analysis is really valuable. He posts his losses as well as his wins. And yeah, so he just put out a video that I think is really helpful. And that kind of got me on this Elliott wave kick because I just think it's really interesting. And so we can kind of see that with AMC from my chart. I drew it linearly, whereas he's drawn his logarithmically. I see that it's pulled back to the 786. If I were to adjust the axis on this, let's see, hopefully I don't screw it up, but let's see chart settings. If I adjust the axis to logarithmic, then that would show, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was actually kind of confused because it doesn't matter if you adjust something to logarithmic, you're going from a high to a low, the percentages should be the same within that. So yeah, I'm going to adjust this back. I was just curious to see that. So I will do linear. It's just going to make things a little bit disproportionate, but the percentages should be the same. But anyways, with AMC, I believe on his chart, he had it so it had retraced to the 618. So mine's a little bit different. But so for the 786, looks like we, yeah, and to be honest, I'm not sure how you get that. But, everybody's chart settings a little bit different. But I see that, we've pulled back to 786, pulled back to this downtrend, which is really the top of this white outline channel. I don't know how significant that is, but I do feel like this purple downtrend is significant. And we retested that, we bounced, and so I'm feeling pretty good about where this could be going. And so, I'm just going to do a retracement from the top here, 188, down to the bottom here, which is, I believe, 1188. And this coming down to 432. And so I'm not doing this because I'm interested in the retracement. I'm doing it because I'm interested in the extension. And I could do just a retracement that includes an extension, but this is what I'm more familiar with doing. So, not paying attention to these. Where is that 1618? That is at 1655. And he was talking about this actually going up to 50 something. So, yeah, and I was thinking a 40, a 44 because there's a gap there. But so just doing this Fibonacci extension, just going approximate from here up to the top and then down to the bottom here. We can see levels to the upside. And yeah, they're just not labeled. They're labeled differently than I normally do. So, oh yeah, this is why. On y-axis, I want them on the lines. Okay, so, oh, don't want to move that. But yeah, so that looks a little bit different because it's, yeah, to be honest, I'm not really, that's not the way I usually draw them. Because I see that there's the 1618 up here, but maybe this is a better way to do that, I would imagine. And so the 1618 is right around 20 bucks, 1972. And the highest one, the 4236, is at 45 basically. And if I take a step back, we can see that corresponds with this gap fill. And yeah, and he was talking about, I think there being a downtrend here. You'd have to look at his video to see his analysis, you know, because I'm gonna do it a little bit different. But I do think it's pretty cool to see this retracement like that, because I do them a little bit differently, and so that's probably a better way to do them. And so with that being said, what I might want to do is I'm just gonna delete this and draw it like this. So this is 238. Oh man, I don't get why I didn't click on there. So 238, 1188 down to 432. Now I'm just going to adjust those. So that's a 238, 1188, and 432. And so lock that into place. And yeah, so the 1618 for that, right around 20 bucks. So maybe we see around 20 bucks this week for AMC. Who knows? I'm excited for AMC. I think it's going to be gapping up, because let's flip over to Robinhood to see what GameStop's trading at. $25 a share right now, over $25 a share. 25.08, being up 32%, over 32%, 25.25, 25.19 in the overnight trading. So yeah, I think that we're going to see another violent start to the week, and it's a short week, and I think that options are going to be expiring in the money. I think that we're going to get a gamma squeeze like we saw before. But I think that, yeah, I mean, it's a shorter week. So, I mean, if we're closing, like, let's see, I'm going to look over at the max pain for AMC and GameStop for this Friday. So AMC for this Friday, the 31st, also closing the month. So that's pretty significant. $4 a share. AMC is above $4 a share right now. I think this max pain is going to be increasing over the course of the week. I think that price is going to be going higher. GameStop, let's see here. This is probably like 20 or 18, 20. Okay, so GameStop right now is at 25. So I think this looks pretty cool. Hey, Ricardo, what's up? I will add Neo, and I will stop rambling about AMC for a little bit, because yeah, I think it's just going to be an exciting week. And the next one is VHAI. So I've never looked at this one before. We'll have to see. It does look like, I got to adjust the axis here. This is, let's see, after hours trading down 1.5%. So I'm not missing anything there. Let's see. How do I want to think about this? Okay, so if I just do a regular Fibonacci retracement from the high, 2202 down to 1010, we could see that. So I think that 1465 is an important level for it to hold. I mean, let's see, because it went up here, pulled back. Yeah, I really don't know for this one. Maybe there's a downtrend over here. Just sucks with that big red candle. So if I do like array here from this low, which is at 113, try to get that just right, almost. And then maybe just connect it over here. I'll probably adjust that. Yeah, I'm just going to make the first point 113. All right, and then moving over here. Yeah, I do like that. So the low on that day was 43 cents. So adjust this to 43. Maybe this is where, price is going to go. Oh, man, crap. I don't know what I was thinking there. I was thinking about going from the bottom to the top. That's my mistake. So let's see. Maybe from here. Yeah, this is what I was thinking. No, actually, I don't know. I was thinking that would be more useful. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. This is all crap. All right, let's see. I'm just connecting dots. No significance. Maybe from like, yeah, I don't know. If I throw up the volume profile, it's just going to be a bunch of volume down there. Yeah, I mean, I guess for this, I just say 1455. That's the 382, so it'd be good for it to hold that. Closed above it on Friday. Still above it in the after hours. But if it does pull back more than 1455, and I'd be looking at closes below that to suggest that it's breaking down, then the next level is 1291. It's a 236. But yeah, I don't know. This is tough to say. I mean, although, it is this big green candle on Friday going up 24%, did close above the previous day's high. Really, Monday's high from last week. Was that the 20th? Yeah. It was higher than that. So it's not the highest point for the week, but it does look, I mean, yeah, if we look at this on the weekly time frame, we're just going to see this big wick down. So maybe that's like a reversal, suggesting that the bottom's in, that is bought up down here. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting pattern. But yeah, I mean, I think that the bottom's in. This is a pretty big green candle closing above the previous day's high. Yeah, I'm not in it. I'm not really sure. I guess, though, something that's concerning is that, so, I mean, we see volume, as the price is going down, volume's going up. And then, it bounces even, volume's going up, so that looks good. But, so this is a green, Thursday was a green day, up 4.74%. Even though it did trade down over the course of the day, it was up relative to the previous day's close. And, but yeah, when it was pulling back, volume was up. And on this day, price goes up, but volume pulls back a little bit. So it's a little curious. Why did it get rejected here? There is consolidation over here. So 22 cents is going to be a tough level to get above. Getting up to 25 cents. And I think that'd be kind of a straight shot to 27. Bottoms here. So yeah, hopefully it can hold 1465 if it can, and it can break above 22. I think it's going to be a tough level to get through, but once it does get to 23, 24, I think it will be easy to get to 27, but that might stop there. Yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. I'm not familiar with the chart, so kind of a tough one to go over. And the next one, BSFC, I'll go over that. But before I jump into it, I'm just going to catch up on the chat. And so I don't think, yep, so Ricardo, are you saying that you think NEO will be bullish tomorrow? I'm hoping it will be. I'll look at the chart. So I threw it up here, didn't I? I guess I didn't add it up here, but I will. I'm just trying to do them in order so people aren't waiting forever. I guess I did add it. I just missed it here. But yeah, BSFC, so Blue Star Foods, up 13.15% on Friday, up about 1.41% in the after hours to 288. And let's see. I mean, this to me doesn't look too strong. It did go up a bunch, but it got rejected. So, I mean, it was up at a maximum on Friday of 47%, but then it pulled back to just about 13. So that makes me think that there, a good amount of sellers up here, not enough buying pressure to push it higher. Why did it stop there though? Got all this consolidation over here. If I do throw up the volume profile, this might be a little more useful. So it couldn't break above that level. It looks like 309 is I think this is the lower average range. I could actually look that up here. So this is introduction, volume profile, advanced style, VAH. I think that's the volume average high, volume average low. Wait, oh, so that's the point of control. And so that's like the key level to get above, and the volume average low. I guess I'll have that on there as well. And so, yeah, it couldn't get above that. Looking at all this price action, it couldn't get above this average where the average amount of the price had been trading. And so, yeah, that doesn't look too strong. And so with it, I could see it pulling back maybe to $2.62, maybe $2.60. What was the high on the 22nd? Well, that doesn't seem right. Did I say 60? Yeah. $2.55. Maybe it pulls back to that, finds some support, because, that was the tops over here, and this rejection might, be because of this consolidation that we see over here, and maybe it needs to pull back and find some support. Or maybe it has. I mean, with this consolidation here, that could be acting as support from where price is currently at. So maybe it has done the pullback that it needs to. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, it did fill the gap that was created. So the close on Thursday was 251. The low on Friday was 250. So I guess technically there is a 1 penny gap there. So yeah, I mean, I could see it pulling back more. I think that this is like the potential for it to start rallying, but it did get rejected from a pretty important level. What it looks like to me, but maybe it rallies into the start of the week, and this was a fake out. And so I'll check out the next stock that is requested on the list. So I got BSFC. So hopefully that was helpful. Jose, hopefully, yeah, that helped out. Just had a reverse split. Yeah, I see this merge here. So 1 for 50. That was on the 20th, so like a week ago. And so yeah, price dropped. And so, I mean, like I've seen like with a Canoe or ticker symbol GOEV, after a reverse split, it was 1 for 23, I think. That went on like a 300% rampage. So, I mean, I could see BSFC going higher, but with this, maybe it would cool off a little bit to like 260, maybe 265 before it would continue. But, I mean, maybe this is that cool off. I think it'll depend how it starts on Monday. And I think Monday is probably going to be a pretty wild day, because, yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at GameStop up over 32%, above $25 in overnight trading. So, yeah, it's going to be a crazy week for probably a lot of these stocks that I'm talking about. So, good to brace for that. And so if that means having a portion of his position at current price, but then be able to add if it pulls back some, like coming back to 255 or so. But if that doesn't happen, at least there's some position for whatever rally that does happen. So, yeah. And maybe I don't think I did it for this one. I'll just do a retracement here so we get kind of the same crap. Just trying to get right on the penny there. And so this low was 217. It'll be off just a little bit. Delete that 9. And so, yeah, I mean, so it got rejected from the 236. Yeah, so not looking too strong. I think it's going to need to cool off, pull back a little bit. But maybe within this week, it starts to rally again. So, yeah, I mean, just this big wick. And let's see, what's the, I don't know how, maybe I could do, like, I'm just going to do a Fibonacci retracement from, oh crap, I didn't click it, from the low here up to the top. And yeah, I mean, it didn't close in the lower, or it's pretty close to the bottom quarter, but not quite. So maybe it is a fake out that it's getting rejected. And yeah, I've already looked at VHAI. I just did, and I can go over it real quick again. But yeah, with this, I think it's good that it closed above Thursday's high. And also you could just rewatch what I had just went over, but I drew this stuff up here. But yeah, I mean, it closed above Thursday's high, so I think that's good. And I think that you need to see it holding 1465. That's the 382 from this retracement. And yeah, I think that if it can get above 22 cents, I think it'll be free. Really, like once it gets like the high over here from April 23rd, the high was 23.9 cents. If it can get above like 24 cents, I think there's a straight shot to like right around 27 cents where there's this consolidation here. And so if it is to break out, if it is to go higher and stuff, then yeah, I mean, it does look like there's this gap here. Close here on the 17th was 18 cents, gap down to here. So there's that gap that needs to be filled. Maybe it gaps above that and goes past it. But with it being down 1.5% in the after hours, yeah, I don't know. It's tough because yeah, I mean, it didn't like go that crazy relative to the previous day's high, but it did close above it, so I think that's good. So hopefully that's helpful. And then I will move on to the next one, which is PEGY and then GWAV. So PEGY. Wow, this is, I think somebody had mentioned that they bought, I think, around 18 cents. And I was worried that it was like following a pullback. And there was a little bit of a pullback, but it has rallied higher. And let's see. Yeah, so this is kind of interesting because, yeah, I mean, so you have this, okay, so this big move up. This goes up from like the lows here up to that high. 325%, great move. And then it pulls back to, actually, I mean, it pulls back to below the 618, but then reclaims it, starts moving up, and then it goes up again. But it forms a higher high, and so here we have 3 higher highs in the stock price, but with that, we have 3 progressively lower highs in the RSI, so that's bearish divergence. With these up moves, we do see more volume on them. So volume increases here as price goes up, volume increases, price goes up. Here, price comes down, volume pulls back. Price goes up with volume. And then here, volume pulls back with price. Price goes up again. So yeah, I mean, I think that this is pretty interesting because I think it could go higher, but it is putting in bearish divergence with these higher highs here and lower highs here. And yeah, so that's kind of tough because this is like really like a different, this isn't the same move up. And then, yeah, I mean, and then from this is like, this is a pullback after hitting that high. Then it goes up just a little bit higher and then pulls back again, then goes up notably higher. So from, let's say from the close here up to this, that's 100%. And yeah, I mean, let's see. I don't know that this is going to show anything, but I'm just going to do. Well, so I kind of predicted that. Yeah, so nothing there. But maybe something over here. Yeah, so I think that it's kind of getting into a precarious place because, yeah, I mean, so of these penny stocks, the ones that have been moving a lot, this one looks pretty precarious to me, and I'll explain why in just a second. I'm just going to make this line up just right, and then this one too. Yes, and there's like no closes below it until, what's this low? 46.30. All right. So I'm just going to lock that in place. I'm going to make it white so we can see it a little better, make it a little bit thicker. And so from that level, it's like support, breaks below. And then from that, where we get rejected from? We got rejected from that level. And also with that, higher highs, lower highs. This, and also here's another thing to note. It's not too crazy. The volume on the 16th was 472 million when price was like getting up here. And then since then, on this day, so that was up, let's see, 70% on that day. On Thursday, up 61%. But what was volume? 465 million. Whereas here, 472 million. So volume is about flat and price is going up. So that's suggesting that there is not as many buyers as price goes higher. This, to me, it looks like it bumped into a technical level that was prior support, has not been tested, acting as resistance as of Thursday, got rejected from there. And so I would think that's a pretty key level to get above. And so if price is not able to get above, let's see, really like, let's say just like the intersection of where that wick of that green candle is, it's around 25.90, 26 cents. Maybe we could do 25 cents. If price can't close above 25 cents this coming week, I think that the top is probably in and this is pulling back. Where is it pulling back to? I don't know. Could be like these wick highs here. That'd be like the 786 right around 8.5 cents. And with that, you've got these wicks over here. I think that could definitely be tested as support. You also do have a gap here. The close on the 15th was 8.69 cents, whereas the low over here was 10.54 cents. So there's still a gap there. Bearish divergence, rejection from downtrend, which was prior support, now acting as resistance. And I mean, you could adjust that level. I mean, so you can draw it on your own chart. I have it based on the low from November 10th and let's see, the low from January 18th. And so from that, notable support here. And yeah, I mean, maybe this could even go back to connect to here. We got rejected from that. And I might actually just for fun, see if it still looks notable if I go back here. And so what's the low of this day? 136. So I'm just going to set that to 136 to the fraction of a penny. Lock that. Does that intersect with lots of intersections over here? Look at that. That's pretty cool, man. Lots of tests. And maybe we broke out of it. Maybe we broke out of it. So yeah, I think this one looks tough. I think it's giving me like mixed signals. I don't know how significant. This is like, no closes below that level at all. And this whole range going back to December, the end of December 2022. No closes below, some wicks below, some closes at. No closes below until this gap down. Maybe this was a test of it and rejection. This was a fake out break. And now maybe we got to close above this wick high. So maybe it's confirmed. I'd be paying attention to 15.21 cents. That's the 382 from this retracement. Maybe that could be adjusted. Maybe just say 15 cents, 15 to 16 cents. I wouldn't want to see price closing below it because maybe that's going to be losing this downtrend. But yeah, I mean, this one's a tough one. I did not expect. I expected the line to just be going right through the wick again. But maybe this is a fake out break, pull back. What level did it pull back to? Like kind of like the wick high over here. So yeah, I could see as long as this holds 15 to 16, it doesn't get any closes. If it gets a close below 16, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But if it gets a close below, let's say Thursday's low. What was Thursday's low? 1564. I think 1564 is a good level to keep eyes on. If there's a close below that level, I would try to reevaluate. But yeah, super interesting chart. Yeah, I mean, there is this gap to the downside, bearish divergence. I'm not sure which trend line's more significant. This one goes back further in time, and there have been no closes below it prior to this gap down. And so I think that this is probably more significant, and that an untrained eye, I would say I'm an untrained eye. I'm still learning a lot here. May not think to draw it back here. We just do it here with a couple pivot points. Now there are a number of intersections with that line, no closes below. And we could actually go, no closes below. Maybe I could extend this to, that would probably be too low, but maybe over to here. Anyways, interesting chart. I think 1564 is an important level to not get any closes below. And if there is a close below that, I think it could be pulling back to maybe fill this gap. But yeah, super cool chart. Thanks for the request. I like it. I like it in the sense that it's interesting. I'm not going to play it. But yeah, I'll switch over to GWAV and continue on with these. So, and I might actually delete the ones that I have gone over just so I'm not repeating myself or getting lost in the ones that I've already done. VHAI, I don't think I have that on the DGen ed list, so I'm just going to add it. And so, yeah, making my way. And so I think after this one, then I'll go over Neo. And, yeah, so Greg, what were you asking about? But, yeah, you're welcome. And so let's see. Now I'm on to WS's request to PEGY, which I've already gone over, and GWAV. So this one, of the penny stocks, I don't know. This one looks weird. There's a big gap down. Let's see. Price comes down, price going up, volume up. Yeah, this looks weak to me because, this big move up, and, let's see. And it's down 6% in the after hours. I'm not missing anything there. Okay, up 645%. Massive. That's over the course of like a week. And then it pulls back to like 80%. Yeah. And then from there, from the lows here, let's do the lows. It's only able to get up 130% before it's rejected. And now it's below the 786. Yeah. And so, let's see. Yeah, this one looks weak to me because it hasn't just like pulled back and found support. It's pulled back and made an attempt to go higher and couldn't even fill this gap. And so maybe that's an intriguing aspect to this, that there is this gap here. So the close on the 20th was 15.8. So maybe that's something. But and also let's look at the volume here. So volume, not when it hit the all-time high, or not all-time high, I don't know that I can say that. No, when it hit this high of 29.65 cents. But so the day before that, so on the 16th, volume was 1.93 billion, pretty crazy. And then the following day, when it went up from that close, went up 100%, volume is 1.16 billion, pretty massive. What was the volume on Friday? Not even 500 million. And with this little bit of a rally, even though it pulled back, volume was 1.4 billion. And yes, I mean, there's all this volume traded down here, and it can't go higher. So yeah, this one looks really weak to me, I would have to say. Of the penny stocks, this one doesn't look so great. Like, I think there are others that seems like the risk is more in an interesting, the risk reward is better positioned for reward. This one looks more like it's just risky. Yeah, and also too, let's see, over here, you know, that level, like 11, 12 cents, it's where all this consolidation was over here. Throw up the volume profile. Got a lot of volume down here, lots of volume traded down here, and then it picks up, you know, with all of this. Yeah, so it got rejected from there. So I think this one looks risky. And also too, yeah, like this, did that fill the gap? No, it didn't fill the gap. So maybe there's this gap here. The close on this day was 37.30. But I feel like it's not ready for it though. I don't know. I like it could bleed. And so with that, you know, I could do another Fibonacci retracement just going from the low here, 5.22 cents. Gotta be, I don't get why it doesn't just like magnet to it. 5.22. And so with that, I mean, it's pulled back to the 618, so maybe that's good, but yeah, I could see it coming down to like 6.7 cents. And maybe that will be the bottom before the next leg up. And then maybe from there, but I don't think that this is, actually, I mean, I think 618 maybe. That's at 7.9 cents. So maybe it's going to rally next week, and 618 is holding that support. That was like the close over here on the 22nd. But yeah, I mean, just overall, it just looks, there are more compelling charts, I think, than this one. This one looks weak. So hopefully that's helpful. I'm not in it, but yeah. And then so now I will look over, I believe NEO is the next one. Yeah, Ricardo, sorry for the wait. Hopefully it's neat to see that stuff on the chart though. But yeah, so NEO. I agree with you that I think this is going to run. And so for me, like usually what I've been doing since I've been covering NEO is I started a small position for myself, and I pretty much just like dollar cost average, like one share at a time. And I had like 511 as like, you know, I think it could pull back, you know, forming this inverse head and shoulders. And I thought that it might be pulling back to 511 to make that shoulder. I didn't think it'd necessarily go lower than that, but I did think it could be testing this white downtrend, the red line here at 478. We got that on Thursday, a pierce of both of those levels, hitting a low of $4.71. And so, like I said, you know, I normally do, this is like a window into my boring trading. I normally do like one share at a time. I decided to do, I think, 10 shares. That's more heavy for me. I don't have 100 shares yet, so not really that exciting. Yeah, I got 10 at 477. And thanks for mentioning this. I will probably get more tomorrow if it's still hanging out down around this red line. But if it's rallying, you know, I'm just going to chill. I think getting up to this purple downtrend, yeah, I mean, I think that this is, I think this will go to 8. I think it'll go to 9 by the end of this year. So I'm cool with NEO. I'm happy to hang out, and if it dips more, if it stays below $5 a share for longer, I'm happy to get a total of 100 shares, and then I could sell covered calls or a covered call. That's a nice way to, you know, make a little bit of money holding, you know, while holding the bag. And yeah, but I think this is $7, no problem. I think $8 seems pretty likely. $9 I think could happen, but then it might pull back from that level. And yeah, but this, I mean, two here, I mean, this is like a double top. I think I went over that in the video. And let's see, you know, could I adjust this? Yeah, I mean, we could definitely adjust this. Could we adjust this head and shoulders pattern, this neckline? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess it probably could be adjusted a little bit. So rather than like having this pivot point here, I could make it this. Oh, crap, man, I don't want to adjust that. There we go. I'm just going to lock that in place. don't want to mess with it. This is what I want to mess with. All right, and so if I move that to the high over here, dang it. Let's see, that high was $6.05. So I'm just going to adjust that line to right there. And so, yeah, and then to get like, yeah, I mean, this could be, I could adjust this a little bit higher, like, so move this pivot point to over here, but I think this is fine. And then, so this could still be, you know, it's a pretty ugly right shoulder here, but it could still be forming, you know, bounce up to this neckline around $6. Yeah, I think that NEO is at a discount right now. And I think that, you know, even if we get wicks below this level, that was, you know, moved up to this purple downtrend from here, move up to this purple downtrend, and then maybe break out. So, yeah, let's look at the volume profile. Maybe there's, yeah, so it does look like there's a good amount, you know, this support, this consolidation over here. It's kind of like it's that you got to think about it, you know, or wonder, like how orchestrated was this, you know, because there's this consolidation here forming this volume shelf. Price is right there. It looks like there's this downtrend potentially respecting it, as well as that prior low. Like that low was put there for a reason, for this price action to consolidate below it, to form support that we would then be testing at the end of May. And that's what we're doing right now. So yeah, I just think that this is a really cool chart. It's really beautiful. This volume right here, it was meant to be. Yeah, I think NEO's a good dip buy right now, and I'm sticking to it. And yeah, and so maybe I could have 100 shares in the next couple weeks. That would be sick. I would be happy about that. I think I don't know what my average is. I can tell you what my average is if you guys are curious. My average, it looks like, is 547. So not too bad. But yeah, dip buy an opportunity right now. And if it does wick below, like to 450, I think that's a discount. Even better discount. Earnings are coming up, though, on the 6th of May. That could be a catalyst for this to rocket. How have they responded to earnings in the past? Seems like they've responded pretty well. Yeah, I mean, went up a little bit and pulled back, and then, yeah, so I think the stars are aligned for NEO. I'm feeling good about it, and yeah, so hopefully you guys agree. If you don't, that's fine too. But yeah, so that's NEO, and I'll see what the other requests are. And VHAI, I think I went over that pretty extensively, so hopefully that's useful. And then so I might go over some of the tickers that were requested in the comments. And so let's see, I've done NEO, I've done GWAV, and before I switch over to, yeah, no problem, Ricardo. I'm biased because I have a position in NEO, but that's one that I feel pretty compelled by. And I think that they have an edge, being not only a Chinese EV company, but also like with the battery swap. I think that's a really interesting aspect to their company that I think could be applied to other car companies, and maybe they have patents on that they'd be making money on. So, but yeah, I was going to look at GameStop in Robinhood. Unfortunately, now it's below 25. Now it's at 24.94, being up over 31% in the overnight trading. And yeah, so I think it's going to be an exciting week. And since I am on LIDR here, LIDR, which is Aeye Incorporated, somebody was saying that they think this is going to squeeze. Went up 24, almost 25% on Friday. Did put in a bullish engulfing candle. And let's see. I mean, I think that, so I don't have a position in Aeye Incorporated. This is LIDR for cars, I believe. for vehicle autonomy. So I have a position in Luminar, and I feel like that I could pull that up just kind of as a comparison. The chart looks different, but one thing that I think I noticed this, it looks like it's kind of doing the same. Yeah, big move up and pull back, retesting this. It's a higher low. This could be like an Elliott wave, and then this would be going higher. I'm really not too familiar with those, but I feel like Luminar is a buy at this downtrend here. So, but I have a position in it. I'm underwater with it, so I have a bias. But yeah, I mean this right here, I think like 252 is a pretty important level. And currently at 348, I don't think it has any problem holding 252. Let's see, where did it get rejected though? Why did it get rejected? So let's see. I mean, I could just draw some lines that would be pretty hand wavy. But yeah, so I guess let's really just look at like the volume and think about that. So on this big move up, yeah, I think that this could be approaching a top. And so I say that because kind of just like thinking about the Elliott wave stuff that I was going over earlier in the video. But so with this, you know, from the, let's just say that this is the bottom here, 114. From there, you know, you get pretty like 180% move, 123%, 24 really, from that previous day's low up to there. And then so, yeah, let's just do it to the closes. So not thinking about the highs. So 125%, let's say. Then get consolidation. So on this, you got volume going up with the candle, looking strong. And then as it consolidates, volume dies down. Nobody's panicking. Nobody's selling. They're just chilling because they know there's going to be another leg up. And then you get another burst of volume. Price goes up. Let's see. From this low, so we're being generous, but then being kind of conservative, 75%, so less than it did before. And look at this volume. So like 159 million here, and then here, 35 million. And it goes up about half as much, and then, you know, pulls back. Volume dies down. So, you know, it's good that volume's low during this pullback. But then look at this, like, look at how on these legs up, 159 million, 35 million. Here, 12 million, not even 12 million. And so it just seems like volume's just diminishing. There's not enough push to get it going higher. And with that being said, sure, this is a higher close than what we saw over here, but in my opinion, in my view, it actually looks weaker. And so the reason for that, A, the volume's lower, and B, not only it couldn't even get higher than these highs. And so while it's a higher close, sure, that's great, but it couldn't close higher than these highs. And so I feel like it just looks like it's getting exhausted. This is a bullish engulfing candle on Friday, but couldn't even get above the high from here. You know, it's just like from this high, like that high, or that close, I should say. That's the top. No closes above that. That's 388. Yeah, so that's like a pretty solid line, 388. No closes above. And make that thick. And I'll make that red because I don't think price is going to get above that. I think closing above 388 is pretty important. I think even just getting a wick to 388 would be good. And really getting closes above the high from the 21st, which was 414. the high from the 16th, which was 420, or the high here, 458. Need to see closes above that. But this is just fading. It's just fading. Volume's diminishing. You see, look, higher high here. And then you also do see a higher high in the RSI, so there's no bearish divergence. Surprise, yeah, I mean, it's kind of odd. But it's just like you see volume just dropping. Volume doesn't exist anymore. So, yeah, I think it looks weak. Hey, what's up, Nameless? SOXS and SQQQ. I'll definitely look over those. And BNED, I did go over BNED at the beginning of this. I'll pull it up real quick, and then I'm going to go over the semiconductors and short QQQ. So BNED. So this, like, I feel like there are just a number of stocks that are doing these like kind of squeezes right now, whether it's AMC, GameStop, Plug Power, I think is a really interesting one. BNED, tons of them. I actually think that BNED is a little bit further along in this cycle. I'm not very familiar with it. I just learned about him today from watching the video that Colin Gladman put out on GameStop, but also talked about AMC. He talked about Elliott waves. And so I have not done much analysis on them or using them really ever, but it's really just kind of like this pattern here where you have a move higher and then you get a pullback, but it's a higher low. And so that's like wave 1, wave 2. And then wave 3 has to go, notably higher than wave 1 did, so this has to be a bigger move than what you saw over here. And then the pullback from wave 4 cannot overlap with wave 1. And so that's a criteria here. Unless it's a wave 2, can't retrace more than the beginning of wave 1. So that's got to be a higher low. Okay, and then wave 3 cannot be the shortest wave of the 3 impulse waves, 1, 3, and 5. This has to be the longest one. Okay? Or it doesn't have to be the longest one, it can't be the shortest one. So here it's the longest one. And then wave 4 does not overlap with the price territory of wave 1. So right here, this low is higher than that. And so with BNED, I see a violation of that. You've got wave 1 here where you get this nice big move up. And I might just remove my drawings for a minute. Well, actually, maybe those help. So you get, this big move up here. That's wave 1. Get a pullback, a retrace to the 786. Find a bottom there. Go up much higher than this one did. A much bigger move. So that, this checks the boxes here. This is a higher low. And then it goes up here. But then it pulls back to lower than this high, lower than 60 cents. And so that, in my view, kind of invalidates this Elliott wave pattern. And it also suggests that this is more mature than AMC and GameStop because this is already has completed wave 4. But with it being lower than this, it's a little precarious. So, I could definitely see it going higher, and this could just be like a fake out. But I feel like this is, more mature. It's right here, so maybe there's another move higher. Maybe it does go, for multiple waves higher. Because I'm really not too familiar with Elliott waves. But like looking at GameStop, this has just done one move up and a pullback. And so I think that this will be going, like wave 3 needs to be much bigger than what we saw here. So like, let's just do, measured move from the bottom here to the top here, just being approximate. This from there. And that's not, I guess what I should do, that's a percentage move of 536%. And so let's see. If we get a measurement as far as price goes, that's like a 300% swing up to like 70 to, could get to $80 again, and higher, probably triple digits. But if this goes up like 500%, let's see where that's going to take us. That is, $110. So I can see that for the next wave up for this one because it's only gone through wave 1 up, wave 2 back. Same with AMC, wave 1 up, wave 2 back. Whereas BNED, wave 1 up, pull back, wave which is wave 2, then wave 3 up, pull back with wave 4, coming back lower than this high. So this one looks a little precarious, not going to lie. But there seems to be a lot of bullish sentiment about there being a squeeze and stuff. And so maybe this is a fake out that would make people like me exit a position or not want to establish one. And so, yeah, I think that getting back above 60 cents is going to be pretty important. Closing a week below that level, I think it's a little risky. I think like GameStop and AMC, in my opinion, are much more appealing than BNED. But it's a penny stock. You can get more shares. But I think that either way, you can get hundreds of percent move to the upside, whether that's AMC, GameStop versus BNED. But yeah, I think that's an interesting one. And so nameless, I will go over to, let's see, semiconductors. So I'm just going to look at Nvidia closed the week at, it's like 6 cents below the all-time high. This, I got all my comments from their earnings call. This is a higher high, but the RSI is a lower high. I think that this is going to be topping soon, but maybe it will wait until June 10th, which I believe is when they do their split, 1-for-10 split. I believe it's supposed to be happening on the 10th. And yeah, then it maybe could rally more after that. Maybe, it could be negating this bearish divergence. And semiconductors will just be going higher. With SOXS, I mean, I think that this is probably going to go lower. I could see maybe the bottom in this corresponding with June 10th when Nvidia has the reverse split, but I would think that would just attract more buyers and it would continue to just go higher and higher. We do see though, like if we're looking at these, like the highest volume traded still was on this day, March 8th, volume was 114 million. Over here, when it's down low here, 87 million. Hitting the new, so like that's, hitting the new all-time highs. 83.5 million. So still, as prices going higher, volumes going lower, that makes me think this is going to turn around at some point. And so, like for SOXS, because they did a reverse split, I think actually, oh wow, yeah. So I had sold a covered call before the reverse split that expired on Friday of last week, just so I could get some money on having 100 shares. And I was worried my strike was would have been $4. I could have sold some shares up here, kind of regret not trimming a bit, but I thought it was just going to keep going up. But yeah, I mean, I think that we're going to be coming back here. And what I could see happening, maybe we see like this is just imagining what could happen. Maybe we end up seeing like an inverse head and shoulders pattern play out. And yeah, so $25. I think $25 is going to be on the table for SOXS because I think that Nvidia, I think that semiconductors are going to be going higher because of Nvidia's reverse split. And so I would be expecting that Nvidia's price to I think it could be going up to, I think it could be going up a good amount higher. And so with this, I have, let's see. So I have 10 shares following the reverse split. And then on top of that, I think I have 5 or 7 more. I'm not a big shareholder, but that's why it's like I'm not worried about if this continues going down, like Nvidia continues to go up. I'm just going to add to my short position and I'm just going to chill. So yeah, I mean, I have 15 shares. So, and my average, if you guys are curious, is 34, actually That's probably not accurate. My average is 35.90. And so, yeah, I'm holding the bag, but I will add more at 25 probably, or 25.18. I mean 25, yeah. I mean, this could be going down to 20. Um, yeah, it's kind of depressing. But I think that semiconductors are going to be finding tops, so um, yeah, so where do I see it bottoming though? I don't know. 20 maybe. It's yeah, it's discouraging because I feel like I guess this is kind of what it's like going short something, like, the big short being, not, I wasn't wrong. I was early, but I wasn't wrong. Um, yeah, and so it's just like being early for a long time. Glad I don't have like millions and millions of dollars on this. Lots of people being antsy about it. It's just me, and I'm just adding to my little position. But yeah, let's look at SQQQ and just like the indices. So let's look at QQQ first. This is but this is also, I mean, I feel like this is just related to semiconductors. This is, a higher high in the price, but this is a higher high in the RSI as well. So we can look at I'm just going to take the drawings off for a second. Look at the weekly. This is, yeah, on a weekly time scale, higher high here. And we've already put that in, but let's see. But the RSI is, yeah, I don't know. This is tough. Because it just keeps going up. What are some drawings that I have here? Yeah, nothing significant for the weekly. But yeah, with SQQQ, this is of my short positions that are not semiconductors. I think this is my largest one. Let's see. So I'm just curious what position size I have. I think this is my largest one, but it's probably like laughably small. You have 31 shares at an average price of $11.39. And so that corresponds to, right around here. I plan on adding when below $10 a share. And I think that this will be going up. And I'm just going to try to keep adding casually in the meantime. Where might it go to? Let's see. So what I can do is I might just delete this and delete the stuff. Hopefully it's not like a tragedy. But I'm not too familiar with these. I'm just going to do the Fibonacci extension. So going from 252 here to the low here of 1005. And then up to the high here of 1299. Wait, what? What happened? Why did that? Okay. So let's see. 252. Drew that perfectly, I swear. And I've been experimenting with this because it's a little invasive sometimes when yeah, so that's just crazy. This what are the levels that I have on here? Like all of them. Why didn't it? Yeah, so maybe this is going to come down to like 823. I thought that this would have. I'm just going to do a little experiment here. Huh. Yeah, because it's like, Anyways, yeah, so, or maybe I could do, this is what I like more normally do, but like this is 1005, I believe, going up to here. 10.05, 12.99. And so from that, 1618 and the 382. That's pretty cool. I did not expect to see that. But yeah, I could see price coming down to $8.23. That corresponds with the 1618 from this and from this like Fibonacci extension that I did from this like massive, drawdown here and little spike. $8.23 stands out as both two levels overlapping there. So I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, so $8.23, but maybe it doesn't hit that level. Maybe it just hits like 850. I don't know. It's still a dollar down, a 10% move to the downside. So I could see it with Nvidia driving stuff. And with that being said, I might switch back over to SOXS and do like the same kind of retracement. Just deleting all this crap. And so that, I do have that, and I want that there. And let's see. I want to see where that 1618 is. All right, and just making sure that the levels match. Yep, okay, cool. And so from there, I have that. I'm just going to take a Fibonacci extension from the high here. 14, I don't even have to like move this. 1428. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying 14. 141.08. 04 is what it is. And then here I can just come down to 27.28. I'm not going to be able to match it. And then up to the highs here, 46.84. So that's 27.28 here and 46.84. So it's not drawn to the points, but it's drawn to the prices. And so with this, that 236 is right around 20 bucks. I was talking about 20 bucks, $19.99. And the 1618 extension from this rally up is $15.19. I feel like 20 bucks with Nvidia being a beast, having the reverse split coming up, or sorry, the split coming up, 1 for 10. I think that SOXS could be going down to 20. So that's what I think for the downside possibilities. So hopefully that's helpful. And I don't see any more requests, so I'm probably just going to continue on with the other stocks that were requested from the comments, and I'll probably wrap this up. I've been doing it for about an hour and a half, and yeah. So I done LIDR, which is on the Degen Ed list. Nobody requested LAZR. I've done Barnes & Noble, and so I might do Cava. This one somebody requested, not much history. I think this is a burrito place or like a Mexican place. Cava Group operates a Mediterranean fast casual restaurant brand. Okay, so not what I was thinking. Somebody was saying that, like, requesting it because their wife was saying that it's like the next, like Chipotle. And so I think it's pretty interesting. Also, I think it's interesting that it's not burritos. And yeah. So let's see. I'm just going to read about the company because I'm interested. Cava Group Incorporated operates a category-defining Mediterranean fast casual restaurant brand. The company operates approximately 309 fast casual Cava restaurants in 24 states and Washington, D.C. The number of Cava restaurants excludes 2 locations operating under a licensing arrangement and digital kitchens. Its Mediterranean cuisine unites taste and health with a menu that features chef-created, and customized bowls and pitas. Its dips, spreads, and dressings are centrally produced and sold in grocery stores. Its menus fulfill a range of dietary preferences from hearty and indulgent to vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free, paleo, whatever, all that stuff. I'm actually wondering, I went to a place like in the Denver International Airport, and it's kind of like this. I wonder if that's it. So I'm just going to look up Cava. Cava Group. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Cava, Denver International Airport. Let's see. Yeah, so what are the restaurants here? Let's see. Maybe I should just search for, can I list all dine, all services, all food types? Mediterranean. Let's look up Mediterranean. Nope, it's Garbanzo Fresh Mediterranean. Sorry, my mistake. Not Cava. But yeah, so this is Cava. And let's see what the chart has to say to us. I mentioned that there's a trend line that potentially of interest. Actually, it's not even really a trend line. And actually, maybe it's already been tested. I don't know. Let's see. I was just thinking, basically from the highs here, 58.10. I had to change the default back to white so it's easier to see. Got to pull back to that and a bounce up. And so something that, yeah, I mean, this is probably crazy. But, this makes me think, here we got to move up 42, almost 43 bucks, right around there. And with this pullback, maybe we could see a measured move. And so this is just like fantasy. But, maybe prices going up to around 100 bucks. I could see that happening. That seems like a psychological level, one that maybe people will be selling at. And let's see, yeah, maybe 100 bucks. And so I was thinking of maybe, like connecting these lows. Maybe that's an interesting trend line. I think that's what I was thinking about. And so yeah. Or maybe this is interesting. Because here, look, yeah, this is cool. So we've got, it's like a head and shoulders. So that's the neckline. I don't think that did a full measured move, which would be coming down like that. So no, not a full measured move. That would have put price like 20 bucks. Came back to 29. But anyways, so there's that. And then so, tests this, bounces up, kind of tests it again, but breaks. And then this gets rejected there, consolidates around it, breaks above, tests it, goes higher, hanging out around here. And yeah, and so I feel like this could be coming back to 58.10 or 58, whatever you want to, maybe 60. Because, yeah, and also I feel like this trend line maybe is of significance. And so I could see that in October, price is around 58 bucks. Or maybe it comes down here, bounces, and then that's, forming a head and shoulders. And then maybe it breaks and comes down to, let's see, what would a measured move from there be? Let's say the top is in. And so that could be bringing price down to 30 bucks. Finding support, right around here approximately. See, I mean, I don't, it's a new stock, new company, or, for the charts. Um, yeah. Nvidia is crushing SOXS. Very true. Hopefully it turns from 26 to 50. I'm bullish, but this time I'll be bearish. My average is 31 for SOXS. I think I mentioned what my average was, but I forget. Let's see. So for my 15 share small position, 35.90. So yeah, it looks like you're doing better than me. But yeah, I'll be adding probably over the course of the rest of the year, and I feel like the start of next year things are going to turn south, and so this is just like I'm thinking of it as like over the course of 2024, establishing short positions, and then 2025. That's when the top is in, really stack then, and reap the benefits. But let's see. Yeah, I guess I could maybe do a Fibonacci extension from right around here to right around here, then coming up to right around here. And that we did pull back to, maybe that's not interesting at all. Probably not. So I'm just going to do a regular Fibonacci going from the low here. I'm just going to do it approximate for the time being. Pull back to, I mean, just that line kind of testing the 236. There might be an ad popping up in a few seconds. I apologize. It should be back in just a minute, though. And let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm compelled by, I don't know. I just think it's cool that it pulled back to this high. Let's see. Let's look at volume. Let's do a little bit more critical inspection of price action volume. And so here, volume's been like fading, or price has been fading up. Volume was highest over here. Volume is higher here when it hits a higher high. I think it's an all-time high. Yep. So, yeah, I don't think the run's over. I think that this could be going up to $100 a share. And yeah, I'm compelled by that because, like that just seems like, yeah, I think that could be happening. I think this could be going up to $100 a share, but I think that would be the top, and that from there, it might be pulling back to 58 or whatever this uptrend would be. I think this uptrend is important, even though I just doodled it on there. But I think that will play a role in the future. So hopefully that's helpful with Cava. I find the chart really interesting. I'm not looking to establish a position in it. I don't usually go for stocks like above $20 a share. But that's definitely a cool chart. So I appreciate the request. And then I'll do Innoviz technology. This one just looks like it's fading. And so with stuff like this, I feel like it's like AMC's a nice example when stuff's just like fading for a really long time. You need to wait for a break, wait for a break and a retest to then start to be bullish on it. And so this right now, it looks like, I can connect from these points, really just since over here, I could maybe extend it to over here. Just keep extending it. I don't know how significant that is. But yeah, I think that what you'd want to see is a breakout. And I mean, maybe you could argue that there's a breakout from like the highs here, but really it hasn't like that significantly tested that. I mean, maybe that is something though. It did bump into resistance there. And yeah, I mean, because the thing that I don't like about this is it hasn't had much like many tests of that downtrend. However, we take a step back and draw this here, take a step back, draw this here. Yes, I mean, it kind of like loses significance. Maybe that's, yeah, I mean, let's just draw it back in time to here. So this is the high hit on February 2nd of 2023. And so I'm just going to drag that over, fit that to the penny, 614 right there. And then let's see over here. I'm just going to do it to the high over here because maybe that then, crap. Yeah. So 614 here is 4385. 4385, is that right? Yep, so okay, that's like, you know, the falling wedge right there, or the top of it, you know, we don't need the bottom of it. But like I feel like this was testing the top of it, couldn't break out. And this here, you know, it does, I don't think it's a breakout. I think that the bigger picture is that this is trapped in here still. And yeah, I don't know how significant this downtrend is, but, you know, pivot point here before a big move. Let's see how big that move was. 75% up move. Gap to that, down to that level, then a gap up to that level. So I think it's a pretty significant level. We couldn't break above it, just being approximate. But yeah, I mean, INVZ, this is also a LIDR semiconductor sensors. Cool. Market cap 184 million. Yeah, I think that it, excuse me, I think that it needs to show a clear sign of breaking out first and then retrace. That's the buying opportunity. Right now, I mean, it could be forming a double bottom, 94 cents. Also, with it being right around $1 a share, having dipped below it, shorts are going to want to drive this below $1. They're going to want to hold it below $1. So yeah, I think it's a cool chart with this, but I think it needs to break out above. I think it needs to be getting closes above like $1.30, ideally $1.35. And like the highest high here, $1.39, but the close was $1.30. So yeah, I think, yeah, really like actually like just getting a close above $1.39, like $1.40. I think that would be good. Maybe the bottom's in here. Maybe this is, let's see, what level did it pull back to? 94 cents up to 139. Looks like it's testing the 6.8. Maybe this is at a bottom. Because if I throw up the 6.5, that's the golden pocket. It's right around there. And so maybe that's a good dip buying opportunity, and this is, you know, when it starts to break out, but it hasn't broken out yet. So I'm not too compelled by it. But maybe it's starting to form a bottom, so I think that's pretty interesting. WS, you're in LIDR. Cool. I did go over it at the beginning of this. Hopefully that was useful. And actually, I don't know if this one's added to. Yeah, it is. But I will pull up LIDR again. Yeah, I mean, this to me looks like, I don't know, I said at the beginning, oh yeah, it looks like it's getting weak. Because seeing these big red big green candles, but look at the volume diminishing. Like 100, almost 160 million, and then here, 35 million here, 12 million here, 7. So that volume's just diminishing, and maybe it's consolidating higher before the next leg up. I mean, that could be it. That could be it. But like, this is a bull flag. But I mean, just like, yeah, the volume's been like so low and it's been hitting higher levels. So I don't know. It looks precarious to me, but maybe it's a bull flag and it breaks higher. Getting close above 388. Yeah, I have that thick red line because that's the highest close here. And it's just been getting rejected above there. And like that was, uh, getting rejected lower than that. So that was Tuesday, 52, almost 53% up. And then not able to get closes above like 350. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's maybe had its run, but I don't know. Yeah, prove me wrong though. Or maybe prove me yeah, good educational opportunity if this is a bull flag, because I'm thinking that it's just volume's diminishing as it's going higher, but really, I mean, it's moved higher and then it's consolidated. So maybe flipping over to the weekly time scale would give a better perspective. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't look so great because it's, price is going higher, but volume's going lower. So I would think that it's probably going to be coming to a top soon if it hasn't already hit one at 458. And so NVAX, I will gladly do that. I know they just recently had a giant move up. And yeah, I hope Ricardo is not watching because he was very excited, because he has requested NVAX multiple times, and then on this pop, I think he had swung it for like 100%, and I think he sold it towards the top of this candle, but then it's like, shit, man, never look at charts again when you sell, cause damn. But with that being said, this is moving higher. Volume does look like it's going lower. I mean, from down here up 260%. I mean, if we look at from the, but letting it ride. I feel like I admire you for that, because whenever, I feel like it's very tough to let things ride. Do you have like a trailing stop loss or anything like that? That's something I don't really do. I need to have a plan for that, but it's like, well, if something's running a bunch and I'm just going to let it ride, what if it pulls back a bunch? But then, giving back some of those gains, or have you trimmed some as it's gone up? Like, I mean, because it's like you have a bunch of shares from down here and then it goes up 300% or something. You can take half your position off, have made money on the whole thing, and then just let the rest ride. You will take profits. Sweet. Yeah, nice move. I'm impressed. Not one that I got in, but yeah, I mean, definitely affordable down here. $3-4 a share before this gap up. $5 a share. I talked about it around here. Yeah, I'm impressed. And there's more room for it to go to the upside. That's crazy. Yeah, my big swings, I think, are going to be, really just like mainly AMC. I'm very curious to see where this can go. And yeah, I'd be stoked if it went up to 50. COVID and flu season. Yeah, it makes sense. And then let's see. So I think the last one on this list, I guess, well, I mean, maybe I could provide some perspective on where I think NVAX could be going if it's going higher. So like, what was the high over here? 1740. So the thing is, gap over here was filled, bumped into resistance around this consolidation. It looks like it was a bear flag, down move consolidation. If we look at the volume profile, I mean, yeah, I wonder if this could be going up to fill this gap. That's like $56. That's insane. There's also this other smaller gap here, maybe. 26. Damn. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, but I guess, are there topping signals? I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. So this big wick up, it's not necessarily a topping signal because it didn't close in the bottom quarter, but it did close in the bottom half. And so I think that 1740 is going to be a pretty big barrier. Yeah, because still that's like the highest close. But, regardless, if you get a higher close, like a close up here, but not able to get wicks above or get a close above 1740, that could be a topping signal going in there. And that is, higher highs here, RSI's lower highs. And that's also like with the volume here, that price is going up, but volume's not going up. So it might be like, didn't want to pull up that. It might be like fading a little bit as it goes higher. But yeah, I don't know. It's COVID and flu coming up. They will be waiting for FDA approval. But yeah, I'm jealous. No. But yeah, congrats on that. Whether it pulls, if it pulls back, you're still looking good. So congrats on that. And yeah. But hey, you made a great swing, Ricardo, so don't feel bad about it. I think it's, who knows, maybe something happens, maybe FDA rejects something and NVAX drops and fills gap, and then WS is left holding the bag. So who knows? To the 11s, yeah. But yeah, that's an excellent trade and a good learning opportunity because let's see, yeah, because like on this day, yeah, the volume fades. So what I feel like, yeah, it's tough because it's like volume's high here, it's pulling back, but like volume's super elevated. And then this massive move, that one day 47, yeah, it's crazy. So that closed at 13. But yeah, and so when something's up, when a position's up 100%, I am very rarely in that situation, pretty much never in that situation. Yeah, profit is profit, so you should not feel bad about it. And I feel bad I'm looking at the chart because you should forget about it. Yeah, profits, it's like you can't go broke taking profit. There's some saying like that. But like I think a really good thing to exercise in, like hate me if I say this and you don't like it, but something that I'll probably do with like AMC is I imagine I'll get into the hundreds of % profit. And so what I'll probably do at that point is trim, whether it's half or whatever. And then it's like, okay, I made money on it. I'm going to continue holding the rest, and which is way more shares than I initially intended on getting. And then it's like, okay, I locked in, not only like secured the money that I put in on it so I can't lose money, I've also taken some profit, then the rest can ride. So with this being up 100%, could be good to like trim the position, just like half of it, or maybe a third of it, or whatever. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to let the rest ride in case it goes up another 100% or whatever. And yeah, so I don't know if you guys trim positions or you just in and out. I dollar cost average in and out of positions. And so I feel like whenever something goes up 100%, then it could be like, okay, I'm going to take half my shares off the table. If it does pull back, then I'll buy them back. If it just keeps going, I'm going to chill with the rest of my shares, and then I'm going to wait for it to fade at a top, whether that's top's been put in here at 1740 or if it's going to continue higher. Yeah, so nice work, both of you guys. And I wasn't even in it. So it's like, well, you took 100% profit. I, like a 2x, I took a 0x because I didn't participate. So yeah, and you can't be involved in everything. And I feel like no matter what, whenever you sell, whenever you take profit, You're never going to sell the top. And what that means is you're always going to be looking after you've sold a position. Oh man, I could have made more. And so that's like why trading's so tough, because whenever you sell, you feel bad about it. Whenever you make money, you feel bad about it. And so, yeah, I think there's a mosquito in the room with me. I've been getting crazy bug bites lately. I don't know what it is. I got like red marks on my arms and stuff. I think there's one in the room with me. So I was itching myself a little bit. And I think I noticed a little mosquito fly around. Check Lucy, that one ran last Friday. Didn't get in, but man, crazy run. Cool. And I still got to go over GTII, but I can do that pretty quick, I think. But yeah, I'm almost at 2 hours, so I should close this down. Innovative Eyewear. Man, I'm just like paranoid. There are mosquitoes on me now. So let's see. Lucy went up 428%. Dang. And it has not yet filled this gap. So maybe this goes to $1.39. But yeah, crazy chart. Pulling back 15.5% in the after hours. Was up as high as 114. So what was the gap fill level? 130, yeah, so 35. So it could still go up more, but yeah, I don't know. Some of you guys trade this stuff and are conditioned for it. I am not. But yeah, I mean, with it pulling back a little bit, let's see. I mean, you can't really judge the volume. Like, it's going up, and then here, volume dies down into the after hours trading. But yeah, I mean, I think that this could potentially still run, but pretty risky. 400, man, that's the trade of the year. Who is buying here? I want to know. It's a pretty good, yeah, because that would be up more than 400%. Because that's lower than, or no, that would be up, yeah. Yeah, 500 and then to the close, 3. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I'll have to put that on the DGen Ed list. And then I'm probably just going to go over GTII and then close this down. I don't know who requested this. Been getting a lot of penny stock requests. I think this is on the penny stock list that I have. Let's see. Yep. And so where's this going? Maybe this has formed a double bottom. Man, oh, I'm looking at the hourly. I was like, it doesn't seem like too much has happened. Let's see. I guess I've gone over this before. That trend line is locked into place. So it's like a double bottom there. Massive move up. Let's check that out. We're talking about massive moves to the upside. This here, 2,000% move over the course of 2 months. Dang. And now, what are we seeing? Oh, let's see. Low here. I just keep an eye on, don't want any closes below 1231. That is the bottom. If there's a close below 1231, I think that looks risky. Market cap 50 million. But yeah, I mean, from that downtrend that I'd drawn, prices below it, this was a dip buying opportunity before a 50% swing. Now, let's see. Man, I think there's a mosquito in here with me. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see the volume. I think this one looks like it's, I mean, from here, let's do the Fibonacci retracement from 1231 up to the high, 1989. Yeah, I mean, that just doesn't look good. Like 1231 is the low. And I guess too, like, I mean, from this pullback, the lowest low on the 21st was 1251, 1251, 1252. So yeah, I mean, I think this is maybe it's a great dip buying opportunity, but I think it doesn't look like it's set up that nicely because it didn't pull back and give bottoming signs at one of these retracement levels. It's broken below all of them. And so maybe if it reclaims like 14 cents, gets a close above 14 cents, maybe that'd be good. But I think it looks risky, and I don't think it looks worth it, but maybe it doesn't match my risk profile, but maybe it matches yours. But yeah, and so on that note, I think there's an ad coming up. I'm gonna skip it, and instead, I'm gonna pull up GameStop on my phone, so we can see what the overnight trading price is at, and then I'll close the stream down. So, looking at Robinhood, it's pulled back a little bit at $24 a share. So was that 25? But it's up $5, $4.99 in the overnight trading, up about 26%. So still looking really good, and I think that we're going to be seeing a gap up and some crazy moves to start the day tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. I hope you guys are excited for the short week. I think it's going to be a pretty volatile one. And yeah, and so rather than throwing up an ad at the end of this, I'm just going to throw this up. If you guys have not liked already, make sure you like the video, make sure you like the stream. I do appreciate it, and thank you so much for the engagement in the live chat. It's been fun going over the tickers with you guys, and always share your thoughts, whether in the comments down below or in the chat. Do enjoy hearing from you guys, and I will be putting out some videos tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly which tickers, but also removing some siding, and so doing some work around the house tomorrow. And so I probably won't be too active with videos for the next week, but I'll have try to get at least 2 videos out a day. And I might be streaming some. Let's check that out before I close this down. The earnings. So I'm going to just do earnings whispers. What are the earnings for this week? Tomorrow. Man, yeah, getting eaten alive. Oh, Cava, after close tomorrow. Just talked about them. Chewy, maybe I could do that Wednesday morning if people are interested. I've covered them. Those videos are never that popular, so I'm not too excited to do other earnings stream, but I think Ryan Cohen's involved with them, so maybe that's interesting. Yeah, have a great week, Ricardo. Take care. But yeah, so maybe I'll do one of these streams, but or stream one of these earnings calls, but maybe not. I'm not really sure. But I would lean towards either Chewy or maybe C3 AI. But yeah, or maybe not any of them. I'd be fine with that too. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. I'm just going to switch this back over to the charts here, and I'm going to take care of this mosquito that's terrorizing me. But yeah, have a great rest of your night, and great start to the trading tomorrow. I will be engaged with the charts in the morning, but probably not streaming. And so yeah, take care, you guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the next stream. And I will be streaming, I should note, before I close this down, I will be streaming for Power Hour on Friday for sure. I'm not working that day, so I can definitely be doing that. So that should be an exciting week to close out. I think it'll be a pretty